The secrets of the Ottoman Dynasty, power struggles, intrigues, and betrayals. The Ottoman Empire, one of the most influential and long-lasting empires in history, ruled over vast regions for more than 600 years. But behind the grandeur of its success lay a dark, secretive world of power struggles, intrigues, and betrayals that shaped its destiny. The empire wasn't just built on military victories or political alliances. It was forged through complex rivalries and relentless ambition, with family members, sultans, and viziers each fighting for control. The story of the Ottoman dynasty is one of dynastic ambition, revolutionary strategies, and dangerous betrayals. Today we uncover the hidden secrets of the Ottoman royal family, where loyalty was always in question, and no one, not even the Sultan, was truly safe from the perils of ambition. The rise of the Ottoman dynasty. In the late 13th century, the Ottoman Empire was just a small principality. Founded by Osman I, the Ottomans began their rise from the Bithynia region in modern-day Turkey, initially growing from a small tribe. The empire's strength was not just in its military prowess, but also its ability to form alliances with neighboring powers, including the Seljuks and the Byzantines. However, Osman's son Orhan would introduce a new dimension to Ottoman governance: dynastic ambition. Orhan recognized the need to solidify power within the family, establishing a systematic approach to securing the throne. This wasn't an easy task. His own brother, Alaeddin, plotted against him, and only after a series of deadly conflicts did Orhan firmly secure his position as sultan. But it wasn't just power that these men fought for. It was the Ottoman dream of expansion. The empire's greatest strength lay in its military, and as the Ottomans began to push into Byzantine territories, internal family power struggles became more intense. But it was the next generation that would show just how far the Ottomans would go to secure their rule. The intrigues of the imperial court. The Ottoman imperial court was a hotbed of conspiracies, and Suleiman the Magnificent's reign, 1520–1566, was a prime example. As the most powerful ruler in Ottoman history, Suleiman had to navigate complex politics both within his family and the greater empire. While he was celebrated for his military conquests and legal reforms, Suleiman's court was riddled with intrigue. His Haseki Sultan, Hürrem Sultan, was not just a beloved consort, she was also a political strategist. Hürrem wasn't content with the typical role of a sultan's wife. Ambitious and determined, she sought to secure her children's future on the throne. This led to a bloody rivalry with other women in the harem, and a series of manipulative moves within the court to ensure her son, Selim, would one day take the throne. But power struggles in the Ottoman Empire were never limited to the palace. Grand viziers, trusted advisors of the Sultan, played key roles in shaping the direction of the empire. One of the most powerful viziers, Ibrahim Pasha, became a close confidant of Suleiman. However, his rising influence led to suspicion among others in the court, and soon, his ambitions would become his downfall. Betrayal and the struggle for the throne. As the Ottomans grew in strength and territory, so did the betrayals within the royal family. The battle for succession was brutal and marked by bloodshed. Sons of sultans fought to eliminate their rivals, often through poisonings, assassinations, or military coups, all in the name of securing the throne. A key moment in the history of Ottoman succession was the murder of Shehzadi Mustafa. Mustafa, the eldest son of Suleiman the Magnificent, was seen as a rival to Suleiman's chosen successor, Selim. Influenced by his advisors, Suleiman made the shocking decision to execute his own son, Mustafa, through strangulation. This betrayal shocked the empire, and the consequences were far-reaching. Mustafa's death not only scarred Suleiman's legacy, but also demonstrated the ruthlessness with which the Ottomans handled internal rivalries. But Selim, too, would not escape the shadow of his father's betrayals. After becoming Sultan, Selim II, also known as the Drunken Sultan, struggled to assert control over the empire. His reign, though marked by relative peace, was plagued by weak leadership and a loss of imperial authority. His indecisiveness allowed factions within the court to rise, and once again, family loyalty was put to the test. The downfall of the Ottoman dynasty. By the late 17th century, the once unbeatable Ottoman Empire began to falter. Sultans grew weaker, and the imperial family's internal struggles became more evident. Suleiman's vision of a united empire was slowly replaced by a fractured dynasty, with power shifting to the hands of military commanders and viziers. The corruption that had taken root within the imperial family began to spread throughout the empire. Grand viziers who once held tremendous power became more self-serving, and the absence of a unified vision left the empire vulnerable. Additionally, the Ottomans faced growing external threats, from Russia to Austria, and the empire's sprawling territories became difficult to maintain. But it wasn't just external enemies that spelled the end for the Ottomans. It was the growing weakness within the royal family. With no clear line of succession, the court became increasingly divided. The Janissaries, the elite military force of the empire, began to interfere in politics. The Sultan's control over his court was increasingly undermined by power-hungry viziers and ambitious generals. The legacy of betrayal. In the end, the Ottoman Empire's dynastic struggles were its undoing. Betrayals, not just from enemies but from within the royal family, led to an empire that ultimately crumbled. The long-lasting impact of these power struggles is still felt today. The Ottomans left behind a complex and fractured legacy, one where loyalty was often a fleeting illusion, and the thirst for power led to untold bloodshed. Despite their fall, the Ottoman legacy remains deeply ingrained in the Middle East and Europe. The art, architecture, and culture of the Ottoman Empire have endured, even as the empire itself dissolved into the ashes of history. The secrets of the Ottoman dynasty, hidden in the shadows of betrayal, remain a testament to the dangers of absolute power and the deadly allure of ambition. The empire that could have been the Ottoman Empire was not just an empire. It was a dynasty marked by loyalty and betrayal, sibling rivalries, husband and wife power struggles, and the brutal quest for dominance. Each sultan, each heir, and each vizier played their part in a drama that spanned centuries. The empire, built on ambition and survival, ultimately fell to the very forces it had once mastered: intrigue, betrayal, and the endless thirst for power. The secrets of the Ottoman dynasty are not just historical, they are universal. In every court, in every empire, there are the same themes: the struggle for control, the price of loyalty, and the heavy cost of betrayal.